Hello everyone, let's discuss today's The Hindu editorial page. The first article is Charting a Path for the Population Committee. In this article, the writer says that the announcement of a high-powered committee to address the challenges arising from rapid population growth and demographic changes is groundbreaking. The committee's multifaceted mandate is to make recommendations on how to address these challenges in line with the goal of Viksit Bharat, which includes formulating policies and strategies to manage population growth. This will involve addressing issues such as family planning, maternal and child health, education, employment, and socio-economic development. To do so, the Population Committee must adopt an interdisciplinary approach, drawing on expertise from fields such as demography, public health, economics, sociology, and governance. Through rigorous research, data analysis, and monitoring of demographic trends, the committee should identify emerging issues and evaluate the effectiveness of existing interventions. Collaboration with various stakeholders, including government agencies, non-governmental organizations, civil society groups, academia, and the private sector is essential to fostering partnerships and enabling collective action to carry out population-related policies and programs at the national and grassroots levels. India's demographic landscape has undergone significant shifts over the years, with women having fewer children, the working-age population increasing, and the elderly population rising steadily. However, navigating the opportunities and challenges presented by these demographic changes will significantly shape India's future economic and demographic landscape. According to the latest projections by the United Nations, India's population is expected to reach 1.46 billion by 2030, comprising 17% of the world's projected population. The demographic dividend, resulting from a sustained drop in fertility rates and an increased concentration of the population in the working age group, presents an opportunity for accelerated economic growth per capita. However, realizing this potential necessitates investments in health, education, and skill development to harness the demographic dividend effectively. Projections for life expectancy in India also show positive trends, with female and male life expectancies expected to rise. Moreover, the proportion of the working-age population is projected to increase, giving India an opportunity to capitalize on its demographic advantage. One of the key challenges in India's demographic landscape is ensuring access to quality healthcare and education for every segment of the population. Public spending on health has remained around 1% of GDP, underscoring the need for policies that prioritize health promotion and allocate greater funds to health infrastructure. Initiatives to strengthen primary healthcare, particularly in rural areas, have yielded results such as improved child and maternal healthcare and higher life expectancy rates. However, challenges persist, especially regarding nutritional deprivation among children, leading to hunger insecurity and impairing physical and cognitive development. Investments in education and skill development are crucial in achieving India's demographic dividend. According to UNICEF, nearly 47% of Indian youth may lack the necessary education and skills for employment by 2030. To address these issues, increased investment in nutrition and early childhood education is crucial. Collaboration with international organizations such as the United Nations Population Division, World Bank, and academic institutions can provide access to global best practices, technical expertise, and funding opportunities for population data collection and analysis. India's demographic landscape presents both opportunities and challenges for the country's socio-economic development. By adopting a holistic approach to population management, prioritizing investments in health, education, employment, and statistical systems, and promoting gender equality and social inclusion, India can realize its demographic potential and achieve inclusive and sustainable development. The next article is R&D spend, golden intervention or smoke and mirrors. In this article, the writer says that Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced in the interim budget that a corpus of rupees 1 lakh crore will be established with 40-year interest-free loans to provide long-term financing or refinancing to encourage the private sector to scale up research and innovation significantly in sunrise domains. The private sector's contribution to India's overall research and development expenditure as a fraction of GDP has been low, with the private sector industry contributing 36.4% of the national gross expenditure on R&D (GERD) in 2020 to 21. The overall amount was Rs 27 lakh crore, so 36.4% comes to about Rs 366.66 crore. The question of why private sector contribution needs to lead its public sector counterpart is important because it is rooted in India's development model and the purpose of technological innovation in it. Innovation's purpose has expanded from economic growth to include environmental justice and sustainability. Given widening income gaps, declining protections for environmental rights and resources, and increasing privatization of education, healthcare, and other public goods, there need be no implicit virtue in private sector contributions to R&D leading the way, especially in the absence of policy and regulatory guardrails that keep growth equitable. Innovation happens over decades and is risk-laden, both of which the state is designed to steward better. In the same spirit, public sector R&D expenses need to increase, especially at the state level, if only to improve the quality of research facilities at state universities that are in turn tied to the freedom researchers have to work on more locally relevant problems. Expenditure also needs to increase to the extent that with suitable policies, it relieves the persistent bottleneck of research graduating from the lab bench to the factory floor. However, private sector contribution does need to increase considering the focus and incentives India has conferred on technological prowess in the last decade. The availability of a corpus of Rs 1 lakh crore and long-term low-interest loans is a lip-smacking prospect. However, the question of whom the funds are for is very important. Both private sector investment in R&D and its sluggish increase span multiple domains, including telecommunications, healthcare, finance, transport, and space. With so many demands on the corpus, the government needs to define what it is expected to achieve, whether it will have domain-wise allocations and targets, and how it intends to select beneficiaries, and whether the corpus will be replenished. The next article is towards uniformity. The concept of justice is paramount. Uniformity is an offshoot of equality. In this article, the writer says that the Uttarakhand Assembly adopted the Uniform Civil Code, UCC, to consolidate laws relating to marriage, divorce, and succession among all communities. This is the first such code since pre-independence Goa. However, the UCC's bizarre part aims to formalize live-in relationships through registration, which is violative of the Constitution. It exposes citizens to intrusive inquiries, social hostility, and pointless deprivation of liberty. While it contains positive features like conferring legitimacy on children born of live-in relations and mandating maintenance in case of desertion, the idea that people living together should submit themselves to registration and verification is repugnant to individual rights. Opinion was divided on whether a UCC would undermine minority rights or promote equal status for women in all religions. B.R. Ambedkar believed the UCC should be voluntary in the initial stages. The previous Law Commission suggested reforming personal law to eliminate discrimination or progressive practices. However, the present Law Commission has revived the idea and started gathering public views. Much of the UTC has been borrowed from existing laws on marriage and succession, but with significant omissions. For example, the code is the only avenue for dissolving a marriage, has no waiting period for remarry after a divorce, and does not require a woman to marry another person before remarrying her former husband. The polarizing discourse is taking shape in the run-up to the general election, as the concept of justice should not be lost in the search for uniformity.